An article on psychologytoday.com describes how to handle someone who is hyper-competitive. The article says if you're uncomfortable, just explain to that person that you are more positive and productive when you are part of a unified team and not a competition. So ladies, how do you respond to people who thrive on competition? And are you the person who wants to win no matter what?
I hear your advice that you're reading that was recommended, but from the competitive women I've met in my life, they ain't trying to hear you out or trying to like fix themselves.
Speak on it.
Like they really they want to win. And if you say something, then they're like, oh, poor baby. That's why you're about to lose, bitch. Like they don't care. I mean, think about it. Like when you've really thought about a competitive person, they're always looking for ways to either play you down or one up you. And it's not in them to talk to. So I don't know. I wouldn't talk to them. I would just avoid them.
I would say all of us are competitive to be where we are in our careers. I mean, obviously we had to be at a certain point.
But I'm competitive in my lane. I'm not competitive towards someone else.
I'm not competing with you. But I would say, guys, even when we play games, we can be super competitive.
That's different.
I've got to be honest. When I was younger, I feel like I was mad. Like Taboo, growing up, you play Taboo, it was intense. You play Monopoly, I'm jumping over the table like, give me my $200. Like, it was intense growing up.
Yes.
I have bad news.
What?
You don't want me on your team no more.
Why? Because now you don't care.
I swear I don't care.
That's what
I don't care. I'll be like, I be hitting life with the Kanye shrug lately. Like, oh, we lose, we lose. I don't know what is that. I used to be competitive.
That's what it is. It depends on what it is. If I don't care about what you're competitive about, go ahead and win.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
That's a great point.
But if I care, then I will be competitive.
Yeah, I just tap out. I'm like, I don't have time no more. But I think to piggyback on you, you've gotten older.
Yeah.
So the competitive nature, it really doesn't matter. And
Just
really,
not that
But is
ambitious.
it older or because you got a lot of the things that you wanted in your life?
well, that's what I think too, and that's what I'm saying. If you think we're all established, and now the competition is within yourself, so it's like you get to a certain point where you're not worrying about, oh, I didn't get this job. It doesn't matter because usually it's another job that's for you anyway because it's made for you. So the competition is to make sure that you are okay and that you're at your best. But it happens, you know, in time.
I remember when I was younger, I used to have a friend who was so competitive that I felt, because I used to be very people pleaser, and I would actually approach that person if I had news for me, like I got a job or maybe I'm moving into a new house or something. I would have to dumb it down a little bit so that you don't. Have you remembered that? Remember, this is in your 20s and 30s. This is real life.
I felt that.
You would have to code it a little bit because you were afraid of the reaction.
Because they weren't happy for you.
Because they were a competitive bitch.
Yes.
Or they were jealous.
That is true.
Because
That is so true. I've definitely felt that. Ooh, I'm glad to be over it. Up next, we've all heard the saying, your home is your castle. So the question is, how long would you wait to welcome someone new to your private pad? And how long should you wait before kicking them out?
Oh, damn.
Well, people on Quora.com went crazy with this one right here. I'm curious to know, ladies, what would you say are the determining factors for someone to be allowed in your home? And is there something special that you hide before people coming inside?
No, I mean, if I don't trust you, you're not coming into my house. I'm not going to let you in if I don't trust you.
Would you leave someone in your house?
I would leave you guys in my house. I would. But you know what's so funny is that I wouldn't put anything away. If I have to put something away, then you shouldn't be in my house. Like, there's certain people that I won't let into my bedroom because that's my room. And so if I'm not really close to you, you won't. But let me just say this. This is a Haitian thing we do. When people overstay their welcome at your house, you take a broom, you put it upside down near the door, I guarantee you they're leaving. I guarantee you they're leaving.
Wait, what?
You take a broom. I had a party once, and people sometimes, they don't want to leave, and you can throw hands, you can yawn, you can do all kinds of stuff. And so I remembered my mom used to do this, so I'd get a broom, I'd turn it upside down, and put it by the door. Honey, people are like, oh my God, look at the time, I gotta go. And I'm like, oh, you're going.
Are these other Haitian people who knew this?
Weird.
Kids know this. They're like, Mom, should I get the broom?
Maybe they just, guys, they know she's Haitian. They know the trick. They seen the broom. The broom is like, get out. Get out.
Try it next time somebody comes here.
I'm going to do that because I always have a problem with not knowing how to make people leave. So I'm actually
No, I take the broom and start cleaning up and be like, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Sometimes you got to tell some people because they don't get the hint. You be yawning in your pajamas. I take off my wig. It's like, it's time for you to go.
I'm trying to think, was there ever a time, because you know I used to throw like really big Thanksgiving parties over at my house before COVID, and like we'd have these huge parties, and I've always been like, oh, I don't care if somebody's in my house. I got nothing to hide. Like, go through the house. Enjoy. There isn't anything we don't talk about on this show, sex toys and all. Yeah, it would not shock them.
Right.
Okay.
With that being said, I threw a huge party for Thanksgiving. This is the only time that something weird like this has happened. Threw a huge party. Someone got a gift that day, and it was the Nipsey Hussle had his own brand of weed that had just come out. He had actually passed away that previous March. It was Thanksgiving. Somebody came with like an opulent gift of this stuff.
Okay.
And the next morning when I woke up, my mom was cleaning up, and she's like, why does it smell like weed up in here? I'm like, it's not my weed. But I realized that it was this person's gift, and I didn't want it to go bad. So another girlfriend of us, I told my mom, so that it didn't stink up the house, to put it in the freezer. You guys ever heard of putting weed in the freezer? Yeah. It keeps
preserves the freshness.
Jeannie knows this. Jeannie's speaking on it. There we go.
A little puff.
All right, so that happens. Life goes on. So then my husband actually had some friends of his over, like a few days later. You're not ready for this. This is the only time I've ever been mortified of something in my house. My husband tells, his church friend, hey, go in the freezer, grab some ice. The man opens it. It's a whole Nipsey Hussle weed thing in the whole drawer. And then we found ourselves explaining like, oh, no, you don't understand. It's not mine. It's a friend. We looked crazy. So that was the only embarrassing thing of someone in your house.
So I once had a party, and it was a welcoming party. So my realtor said, you know what, my daughters would love to work at your party. Can they serve? And I said, oh my God, fantastic, beautiful black girls, whatever.
Yes.
And I said, yes. And somebody brought a tray of cookies, and the cookies had weed in them. So I said to the girls, this right here, these plate of cookies, don't let anybody get to them, right? And so the music is great, the DJ's blaring, these girls are dropping it like it's hot. People go into the kitchen and start eating the weed. The cookies that had weed in them. So the next day, a girlfriend of mine, she goes, Garcelle, was there anything in those cookies? And I go, what do you mean? She goes, my husband had 3 of them, and he's recovering.
Yeah. 3 of them? He could have died.
Yeah.
He didn't even know they had a daughter. She was like, we have to go pick up our daughter after he goes, daughter? What daughter?
Oh, my God.
He was recovering and had 3 weed cookies at my party.
Oh, he was
You had a
3
good
weeks
time at
later.
your party. I tell you
Pissed
that
I
much.
wasn't there.
I don't recommend that to anybody.